Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sure I know Jenny has everything ready, so I'm sure she'll be here any minute.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I was on time and there with all the troubles I've been having with email.
Oh dear.
It's just been a nightmare.
Do you have stuff back now?
Hmm?
Do you have anything back or no?
No, but I can log on to the staff's email. But we can't get our shared files and we can't do this, and Microsoft's working on it.
Oh my goodness. Well, if there's anything, because you've shared so much with us, I'm gonna have to email back all your information to you.
Tylenol and Calgon.
That's right.
How are you? How's your mama?
You know, the kind of the same. That's well, you know, that's and things for you are good.
Yeah, things are, well, they're day by day here, but we're doing the best we can. So we did get our third hire started on Thursday.
Oh, I saw the news. I was gonna, maybe it's a good thing that I didn't write back. How do you pronounce her name?
Shanae.
Shanae. Okay, I'm gonna write it down so that, sometimes it's funny or not.
Yeah, we had two really good candidates on the short list, so we're really happy.
Great. And when does she start?
She started Thursday.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was just finalized on Thursday, but she's literally there.
No, we offered her the job on Friday. She asked for the weekend, last weekend.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, she took the job and we wanted her to start Wednesday, but she was busy, so we said Thursday.
Great.
So we met her in person on Thursday.
That's exciting. So because you guys are a little bit more open than we are here, you're able to go in and meet.
It's really weird from having that office all by myself to three of us chattering.
Yeah, very, but nice maybe. And good morning. I can see Jenny. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you, Jenny, for doing this. This is Tara from the BCSLA.
And you may notice, Jenny, but you're on mute, I think. Tara and I.
Sorry about that. I did not notice that I was on mute. Thanks, Ingrid. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. We all do that, don't we?
I know. You'd think 2 years into a pandemic, you would get used to that, but apparently not.
I'm not used to any of it. And it looks like Lauren is here as well. Good morning.
Lauren is from CLARB, the Council of Landscape Architectural Registration Boards. Hi, Lauren. Tara Cullum.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Jenny Trin.
Jenny is really the leader for us today, whom you may have seen put together all the presentation for us. And because, Lauren, you probably know in Canada we're a little bit different, so our members join prior to having already done all of their work. So Jenny is one of the people going through it, and she's also the kind of intern representative to our council. And so she takes on many added options, including this.
Not without your support, Ingrid. Always, Chen and I are always like, should we talk to Ingrid about this? Yeah, we probably should.
It's all a team, and the background too. It was Tara who was one of the first on this morning. She texted me and she's like, "I'm already on. Get on." So, and of course,
it's 8:30 a.m. here. Folks.
That's right. Very impressive. Even more impressive that it's only 8:30. And Jenny, I know it's just like starting at 11:30. I don't know if you want to test out your presentation or not to have.
Sure. So
we can tell you if we can see it or not.
Okay, I just do the usual share screen. There's no other special way to do this, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I have a screen share disabled at the moment, so
okay.
I'm not sure. It says host disabled participant screen sharing. So I'm not sure if someone can give me screen share capabilities.
Let's see. So we may need to wait. I might then, let's see, screen share. host is disabling it. So let's find, I'm going to check, I'm going to probably, Tara, I think I'm going to text Todd to ask him that. Because I would think that he would have shared hosting with you, but because it's the AALA's Zoom that we're using, I'm just going to quickly text the master of all things AALA, Todd, and see.
Yeah, he's up and he said good luck with the workshop, so I guess he's not joining us. Jenny, can you please remember to remind people that the session's being recorded? Ingrid, Todd
Okay.
just signed on. Oh, no, now he's just signed off.
No, I see him. Great. Hi, Todd. We were just wondering if you would be okay to pass the host to Jenny so she can share her screen.
Todd's never been this quiet. His audio's probably.
And Lauren, what time is it for you?
I'm on the East Coast, so it's just about 11:30.
Oh, okay, so you're with me. I'm the same.
Yeah.
So Todd's just letting us know. Okay.
Well, Ingrid, you're a co-host.
Well, I am. Oh, okay. I tried a little bit of time ago. Oh, now I can share my screen. Okay.
Okay, Jenny's
Oh.
co-host now. There you go.
Okay, thank you. So
Looks
can
great,
everyone
Jenny.
see that? Okay, everyone can see that. Okay, great.
If you like, I'll go on mute, Jenny, and thank you. But maybe I'll give a quick start for anybody that's here. We have Tara. Thank you, Tara, for getting up bright and early on a Saturday morning from the BCSLA. And we have Jenny and Chen, who have organized this information session for any exam takers in the Canadian jurisdictions, as well as Lauren Rossman, who has also kindly come in on a Saturday. Lauren, it works at CLARB and so has probably the best understanding of any of us of all of the processes required, and especially anything new as we switch to the new system with PSI. I know that we put it in the email to start, but just as a reminder that to ensure that Jenny and Chen stay within the limitations because they are exam writers, they cannot answer any questions with specifics to the content of the exam. Neither Tara nor I has written the exam, so you could always ask us if you know, the types of things. We can't answer anything about it, but really the goal of this is to help people feel more comfortable with the process, how to sign up, and how to make sure that you're well prepared. So they may share things of, don't forget to read the books, etc., but they won't speak specifically about the exam. With that, I will pass it on to Jenny, who right now is already sharing her screen with the presentation to go. And just an extra thanks to all of you for showing up on a Saturday morning to help everybody out.
Thank you for the introduction, Ingrid. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny Trin. I'm the Junior OALA Associate Rep on the OALA Council, and presenting with me today is Chen, who is the Senior Associate Rep on OALA Council. So like Ingrid said, this is going to be a general overview of the exam registration process, an overview of each exam, as well as some general study tips. We'll also be putting some more emphasis on the changes that CLARB has implemented that will be for the upcoming April session. No, there we we go. So this is today's agenda. So we're gonna go over changes to the LARE, how to sign up with screenshots. So if you have not signed up for a LARE session yet and you are not familiar with PSI's platform or CLARB's platform, for that matter, then you'll be able to see on the screen what it looks like. Also, just a quick slide about the online proctoring process, which CLARB has made available for all 4 exams now. An overview of the exam sections, exam structure, and then additional tips and resources. And then Ingrid already put out this disclaimer that we're not able to answer any specific questions to the exam content. So I'll start us off with the overall changes to the LARE, and I welcome Lauren to jump in case I say anything incorrect or if you'd like to clarify anything. So CLARB has moved the test administrating partner to PSI now. So the registration is a little different. There will be different test center locations and different protocols now for PSI compared to Pearson VUE before. Sections 3 and 4 are now available for online proctoring. So if you would prefer to not go to a test center in person, then these are now available for you to write the exam at home. The next change is the removal of physical whiteboards and calculators at the exam test centers. So before, if you have ever gone into a test center to write an exam, you would have been provided a physical whiteboard and calculator. The whiteboard and calculator are now built into the exam software, if that's the right word. So those are still available, but instead of having them physical, you'll now be able to use a calculator built into the exam software, and the whiteboard you are able to, I believe, type and draw with your mouse, and the contents of the whiteboard remain throughout your entire exam session. So if you were to take a break, for example, you would not lose any of the information you put on your whiteboard before your break. And that leads me to breaks during the exam / question flagging. So breaks are now available for everyone, whether you write in a test center or online, and these are of your own choosing, so you can take a break whenever you like. The biggest difference now is that before we moved to PSI, you could flag questions or leave questions unanswered, take a break, come back, continue writing your exam, and then people typically save unanswered and flag questions for the end. Now you are not able to revisit any unanswered or flag questions from before a break. So before you go on a break, whichever questions you've already viewed, make sure that you answer them before you go on your break, because you will not have access to them once you return. So the next change is the candidate agreement. Just a quick update from CLARB. And Lauren, maybe you can tweak my wording here to make sure I'm saying this accurately, but CLARB has added to their exam writing agreement that you cannot act as a test prep agent or sit on some sort of exam prep council for 3 years after your last exam is taken. Lauren, do you have anything to elaborate on that?
No, that is correct. And if anyone has kind of a prior conflict to this, just reach out to us, and Rebecca Moden will work with you on a solution to that. So
thank you, Lauren. The next update is the orientation guide, Orientation Guide 2022. You can find it on both the CLARB and the OALA websites. And essentially all of the information that we're providing today is updated in the orientation guide. And if you have not written an exam before, I would consider the orientation guide as like a LARE 101 document. It has pretty much everything you would need to know and pretty much all the information that we're presenting today, if not more complete. And finally, all this information is described more fully on CLARB's website. They offered 2 webinar sessions, one purely for all of the changes for the exam moving forward, as well as a Q&A session. So if you do want to find out more information about the changes that we just discussed, then there's the QR code on the screen and it'll direct you to the recordings. So next we're going to walk you through how to sign up and register on CLARB for an exam record, as well as how to register for the exam. So I'll pass that on to Chen.
Yeah, hi, everyone. So if you are the first time to see this, the CLARB website, you will need to create your new account with CLARB. And then once you have a account with CLARB, you will need to keep your record with CLARB. That's the way, so they can keep all your exam record, and once you've finished all your exam, they can transfer all your record to your local association. So this step shows how you can create your record with CLARB. So you can get once you create your record, you can start to register your exam with CLARB. And here, as you see, there's a 2A, obtain pre-approval. I think this is the situation in Canada. If you are a student in Canada, you also can do the exam while you are a student. So this is not a huge issue for Canadian students. And this step shows you how you register your exam from the start.
I know, sorry to interrupt you, it's Ingrid, that in Ontario, students may write as long as they are registered students with the OALA. So in Ontario, the requirement is you must be a member of the OALA, which means that when you sign up, you're already in our database, so you know. So it may be a student membership, or normally it's an associate membership. In other provinces, so in BC and Alberta, do check with them because they have slightly different requirements. So wherever you're writing your exams, check with your local jurisdiction and say what is needed. And I think, Terry, you were going to mention something too.
Yeah, in BC, we would like you to be at least a BCSLA intern before you begin the LARE. Thank you.
And I believe it is the same in Alberta, that they do want you to be an intern as well. So across the board in Canada, you want to contact your association and register with them before you sign up for the exam.
Thanks for your confirmation. Okay, so we can continue. Also, once you're done your registration of your exam, you can check out the orientation guide, which this is the brand new edition from 2022. And in this orientation guide, it shows the exam structure of each different sections and the term and conditions of this exam. And also good to know is the exam cost. So for section 1 and 2 is $375 per section, and for section 3 and 4 is $590 per section. And once we done the registration process with Clark, and then we will go to PSI website for scheduling your exam on the specific date you want. So you can schedule your, Jenny, could you go to the last page? The last page. Yeah, so after you finish your registration with Clark, there is a link you can click and then transfer you to the PSA website. Or you can also go to Clark website, go into your My Profile to go into the scheduling location. Yes, as you can see here. So once you transfer the PSI website, you will see the Clark logo here and the brief intro of this exam to make sure you are in the right location. And then going to the next step, you'll see any available exam you already registered in the Clark. As you can see here as an example, in this situation, this candidate registered the section 1 and section 3, and here it says you are eligible to take. And then for the section 2 and section 4, which this candidate didn't register, it shows not available. So you won't go through a round track of different sessions as you don't wish to take. So once you click in specific section, you will see the continue booking button. And once you click, it brings you to the next step is the confirmation of your info. And once you confirm the email address, you'll see there's an option that either you can choose to take exam on site or take exam virtually on your location, which is the online protocol. Lauren, I see you have a
Yep. I just wanted to pipe in with one thing on the previous screen. When you put in your email, there's also a thing about test accommodations. If you have a test accommodation, please reach out to Clark, and we will tell you whether we will put in that accommodation for you, or you will have to fill out this form. So just an FYI, I put Clark's email and phone number in the chat. So if you have an accommodation, reach out to us and we can walk you through that process. Thanks.
Yeah, actually, since Laura mentioned that, I did this once by mistake. So I checked this accommodation requirement by mistake, and then I didn't see any confirmation of my booking of my exam. So I called to Clark, and the answer is once I check the accommodation, I should. So if you need accommodation requirement, once you've done this the whole process, it's better for you to reach to Clark to clarify what kind of needs you will need, and then they can try their best to meet your needs and confirm your exam. So if you need any accommodation requesting, don't wait. Just once you finish all the whole process, contact them as the earliest time you could. If you can go to the next page, Jenny. Yeah. So this are the two screens shows different options of exams you are taking. So if you take online protocol, you will see the screen on the left to show the time zones and the time you are in. And if you select the on-site, then you will see there's an option that you can choose your preferred locations you would like to take your exam. And this screen shows the location of the testing center nearby you, I think.
So if I can just quickly
Yep.
jump in, and Lauren can correct me if I say anything incorrect, but you can search by your postal code or your city, and then you can also choose the distance that you want to search from your location. So I think it goes up to like 500 kilometers or something like that. So I'm in Ottawa. I could search as far as the GTA if I wanted to go that far, for example. So if you don't find anything immediately within your city, just expand the distance, and that way there should be more that pop up. And if there aren't any, then I would suggest you contact CLARB to see if they can help you with that.
Yep, that's correct, Jenny. If you have any issues finding a location, please reach out to us. We recently opened a few more centers. PSI has that availability, which is great. So that there's more availability. We just opened Calgary as well. And just a note, you do not have to sit for the exam where you are trying to get licensed. So for example, if you find you're going to be across the country, the 2 weeks that the test is being proctored, you can still sit, you know, in a different province. So just FYI.
Right. While we had Lauren, too, I wondered if you also want to just outline, Andrew had asked, do we need to have our educational history on the council records and e-transcript sent approved by CLARB before booking the test time? Are you able, I don't know if it's the right time to do it, but just give a little bit more detail on how that works.
Yep, that's a quick, easy answer for everyone in Canada. As long as you are registered with your Canadian board, with your association, then you do not have to have it sent to CLARB because in most cases you have already met that requirement with them. So if they have it, we are good. You know, the goal is always to get that information to them. We're just kind of the keeper of it. So not a problem.
So let's continue, and on this screen you will see once you select your location, you can select the specific time you wish to take, or it's gonna show the available time at the specific date you wish. And once you select all the options, you will need to confirm their terms and conditions. And then you can confirm the scheduling process of your exam. And need to be mentioned here, as you can see, there's a price as you've already paid through CLARB website. So in this scheduling page, you won't see any amount charged under your account. So this always should be 0 if I wasn't wrong. So once you've done all your scheduling process, you can go to PSI website anytime to manage your bookings through this page, or you can do either rescheduling or canceling the booking in the available time. And if you have any specific questions or any complex questions that we couldn't show you through this session, you can contact CLARB, either Lauren or Rebecca anytime. And Lauren, do you have anything to add?
Just one thing, as far as going back and rescheduling and accessing the PSI website, you always have to do that from the CLARB website. So you always want to go back to CLARB, that's your home base, and go to my profile, scroll down to my event registrations, and that is where you're going to see that link. That's your own personal link because you're logged into CLARB, and it will take you directly to your PSI information. So you'll never have to log into PSI. It's always through CLARB. Yep, and just reach out if you guys have any questions, any issues with registering. We are here to help. That's what we do.
And we do have some notes for the new online protocol of the exam. Jenny also mentioned some of the notes before. So to be mentioned is the online protocol exam shares the same time frame as the on-site exam, which for the April exam is from March 28th to April 9th. And during this online exam, the breaks are permitted. But once you do your break, you won't allow to go back to any of the exams you did or flagged. And also make sure if you choose take the online exam, make sure your room is a private room with a cleared desk. And also do your system check after you're scheduled with your exams. Also make sure you don't have firewall issue or over secured issue with your computer. Sometimes it may happen that your computer block this exam system. And also make sure to close your blinds or curtains if you face into a wall or in a bright room. So make sure there won't be any influence from outdoor lighting on your face or on the rooms. And also the tablets are not recommended for this protocol. In some situation, if you use a tablet or iPad, you will need to touch your screen. And in this situation, the monitor staff will question you, what's your action on the screen? And it may become a concern. So if you want to know more info, you can always go to CLARP website on their main page.
And
you'll see there's a information of the online protocol. Yep, Lauren.
Yep, I just want to pop in about the online. So for the breaks, and this is across the board, everyone is taking the same breaks now to create equity between online proctoring and in-person proctoring. There will be a warning. If you ask for a break, there will be a warning that says, please go back and make sure you have looked at all unanswered questions. So every time you take a break, you will get that warning, just so everyone is aware in case you forget about this new little fact, that will help you out. In addition, online proctoring previously already had the online whiteboard and calculator, and that also will be across the board for in-person and online proctoring, once again, to create equity for everyone taking the exam. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and since we were talking about the online protocoling, I would like to talk about some of my experience when I did my exam with this online solutions. It was with peers before. So before starting the exam, it would require to check your room with your camera. So make sure your room is cleaned without other stuff, because this will be a pre-screen process. If on the other side of the monitoring staff notice there are any other materials happening in the room, it may slow the process of your preparing to the exam. Okay, so yeah, so we'll talk about some brief introduction of each exam. So this is the section 1, which is project and construction management. In this section, it will talk about the basic construction management, project management, about companies, about the whole process of bidding and construction process. And if you can go to the next page. So this is a screenshot from the CLARP orientation guide. So in this chart, you will see the categories of this section and each testing point in each categories and the percentage weight of each categories. And also you can find this recommendation book list from club website. And here are some main resources of the books. One of my personal comment is, as a Canadian candidate, I used the first additional resource, Practice of Landscape Architecture in Canada, as an alternate option of the first reading list book, the Professional Practice of Landscape Architecture. And also from my personal experience, I think the construction contracts will be the primary important book for this exam. In this book, introduced the whole process from the documenting to the maintenance process.
I just want to quickly jump in because I do see a question asking for more detail, like why do we not provide a more specific study guide to each exam? And I would recommend that you treat your studying as an independent course. I think because all candidates have different levels and areas of experience and knowledge, CLARB is providing you the resources and the, I guess, launching off point, but it is really up to you to determine which resources are best for you. Normally, we recommend that you take this breakdown, which is provided for every exam, and cross-reference all of the topics with the table of contents in each book. And that's a pretty fast way to determine first which books have more of the content and are maybe worth spending more time on, as well as which chapters specifically you should be reading. So that's how I would recommend you start off your studying.
Yes, as what Jenny said, we actually, after we doing this briefly introduction of each sections, we'll share some personal experience on the tipping of the exams, represent our personal opinions, such as some practice exams, some workshops, or some skills during your studies. But we would like to keep this introduction to sections in really brief way, so everyone has a general understanding in this small amount of time of each exam. So there is a QR code you can scan that through this code, you'll see there is a section 1 prep session happened in 2020. There's a video. You can find a time to go through the videos if you are about to take in the section 1.
Thank you, Chen. So I'll just be quickly breaking down section 2, which is on inventory and analysis. So as you can see, 35% of the exam will be on site inventory, 40% of the exam on physical analysis, and 25% on contextual analysis. And this is a breakdown of those 3 areas. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of ground to cover. I did find that it's easy to get down into a rabbit hole of some of these topics, and I would suggest that you keep your studying quite general and to like the overall concepts and overall elements of the landscape. So this is the CLARB recommended reading list, and then we also have some additional resources listed below. For me, when I was studying, and Chen, I welcome you to chime in with which resources you focused on. I personally read Site Analysis, Site Planning and Design Handbook, a little bit of Living Landscape, and then I also flipped through Basic Elements of Landscape Architectural Design, and that specific textbook is good to break down the inventory of the landscape. So from climate to hydrology, geology, wildlife, vegetation, it breaks down each element and kind of gets to the essence of why each is important and how they're all related to each other. So those are the ones that I read. Do you have any other comment on that, Chen?
I wouldn't say which book is better over others, but personally, I spent most of my time on site analysis, and also to mention, unlike the first exam, which is more close to the books, to vocabularies, to the terms, the section 2 is more for you to integrate your knowledges, to relate all the informations you learned from the book and to analyze during the exam.
Thank you, Chen. So we'll move on to section 3, which is design. So 9% of the exam will be on stakeholder process, 45% on master planning, and 46% on site design. So again, the same breakdown that is available in the orientation guide. And you can see stakeholder process 9%. The list is shorter according to the percent of the breakdown. So exam 3, I would say, is very application based, whereas exam 1 and 2 are more knowledge based. And particularly exam 3 is good to take after exam 2 because you're taking all of the knowledge of inventory and analysis, and now you're applying it to questions for section 3. So it's this one I wrote recently, and I found this one challenging to study for because, again, it's quite a wide range of scenarios that you have to study and prepare for. So I would recommend, again, that same technique of cross-referencing the breakdown from the orientation guide with the table of contents for these textbooks. For me personally, I spent a lot of my time reading the Time Saver Standards book, as well as the Planning and Urban Design Standards book. And then I had notes from the Site Planning and Design Handbook from when I studied section 2, which I then integrated into my section 3 notes. For me, I also, in the additional resources, found the NACTO resource on Urban Street Design Guide really useful. That one has some excellent graphics that can really illustrate different street types and street scenarios. Do you have anything to add for this one, Chen?
Not really. Yeah, so I can go through the section 4 briefly. Currently, I'm preparing this section as well. So to be fair, I don't have much experience from my own to share. So I'll stick on what CLARB provide for us. So in this section, it's divided by 4 categories: 20% site preparation plans, 40% general plans and details, 25% specialty plans, and 15% specifications. So as you can see this chart here, it's all about plans, details, and specifications. So from my own experience, I already had several years of working experience. That's why I think it's the time for me to take this exam, and plus I have experience on past other exams. I think from my own thinking, I gave me a preparation on I have some foundation and confidence on preparing this exam. Since if you go through the orientation guide, you'll see this exam has the longest examining time. Then also you'll find some tricky on this this chart. It shares some words, some vocabularies, some stage with the section 1. So my personal think, if you had some experience on section 1 or went through some study materials of section 1, it would help for some categories of this exam, such as specifications and some site preparations categories. And for the next page, if you go through this reading list, you will find another trick is this exam shares some books with the section 3 exams. So from I went for some previous LARE sessions, and from some experienced candidates, they shared their thoughts on their strategies on doing these exams with section 3. So it may help. As you can see, the time saver standard or the graphic standards, they were also listed in for the section 3. And I personally think these exams also from some experienced candidates, they share their knowledges on spending time on reading the site engineering book and any of the standard book. It's gonna cover the most of the categories of these exams. There's a question said, will there be any specific study session for each section? Yes, this page showed there was a specific study session for section 4. So if you are doing this exam, you can scan the code and go into a record of the Zoom session we had before.
I'm not writing an exam in April, but I am preparing slowly to write section 4 sometime this year. So I've already watched some of this video, and I have to say it's extremely informative. And I know looking at just the LARE orientation guide breakdowns it's quite daunting because the list of topics is really long. So I recommend you take the time to watch these videos because someone's kind of done some of the work for you basically. And for John and Sarah who hosted this one, from the 45 minutes I watched, it's well done. So I recommend it, even though I haven't finished watching it.
And I do see there's a question from Andrew. Yes, as we mentioned before, through the registration and scheduling process, yes, you need to register with CLARB and pay your fee. And once you get a confirmation of registration from CLARB, then you can schedule in your time with PSI. Thank you, Laura.
So I'll quickly run through how each exam is structured. So this is also all available in the orientation guide. And if Lauren can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this has not changed from when we were with Pearson VUE to now PSI. So for section,
sorry, that
sorry,
is
Lauren,
correct.
go ahead.
Yep,
Okay.
the test is completely the same. The exam itself has not changed at all. The structure has not changed. I will say the JTA, the job task analysis, is out right now. If everyone wants to fill it out, it's on top of our website. That is to prepare us to evaluate the exam and possibly update it in the next few years. But right now there are no changes.
Thank you, Lauren. So for section 1, you'll have a 3-hour seat time, 2.5 hours writing time. So by seat time, we mean that if this is your first time preparing for an exam, you have 2.5 hours to actually write the exam, but you do have some time before the exam where the platform will walk you through how to answer the questions, how to flag a question, how to go back to questions that you haven't answered, and essentially just walk you through the whole exam platform and how to use all of the different functions before you actually start the exam. So that's what seat time means. So for section 1, you have 85 multiple choice or multiple response questions. So quickly, multiple choice means that you will choose one answer, and multiple response means that you will choose more than one response. So it can be 5, it can be 2, it can be 3. Essentially choose all of the responses that are correct. And in section 1, you'll have 15 pre-test items. So pre-test items, and Lauren, again, well, you're welcome to jump in if I don't describe this accurately, but pre-test items are essentially questions that you will not be graded on, but they're questions that CLARB is using to gauge if they're appropriate to use in future exams. Is that correct, Lauren?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. So for section 2, you have a 2.5 hour seat time and 2-hour writing time, 70 multiple choice and multiple response questions with 10 pretest items. These are not identified, by the way. You don't know if it's a pretest question or not. I forgot to mention that. For section 3 and 4 are longer. So you have 4-hour seat time and 3.5 hour writing time. 85 multiple choice, multiple response, drag and drop, and hotspot questions. So drag and drop questions are graphic questions as well as the hotspot questions. And for drag and drop, you'll be given various elements to place on a plan, on a section, on whatever graphic they give you. And you'll have to drag and drop items onto the graphic based on the brief and the question that they give you. For hotspot questions, I just wrote section 3, so I should know this, but you essentially choose one of multiple options that they give you on a graphic. So if they ask you the correct location of something or the correct graphic or correct section based on what they're asking you, you'll choose one. Is that correct, Lauren?
That is correct.
Thank you. And then lastly, section 4, 4.5 hour seat time, a 4-hour writing time, 105 multiple choice, multiple response, drag and drop, and hotspot questions with 15 pre-test questions. And there is a YouTube video link at the bottom of the screen where CLARB will walk you through all of this if you would like more information.
Yeah, or if you can't copy all the links on this page, you can directly go to CLARB's YouTube channel and to find this video if I wasn't wrong, Lauren. So here there are some pages that we would like to share some of our personal tips. It's only represent our personal opinions on studying these exams. First thing is the one I used a lot. I believe Jenny, you also used it. It's a prepared exams website. So if you go to this website, you'll see it provides 2 exams for each section. So there are 8 total exams you can buy and use as a preparation of your exams. And once you bought the exams, it would available for 60 days for you to use. So you can go into your questions anytime, and once you finish, it came with the answers and with the explanations of exams. And there's the look of the exams. It would be about really on a high percentage, similar to the the look of the feel of the exams you will see during your official session. Also, you can use some flashing cards to remember the terms, the vocabularies of the exams you are doing. And also, the third point is what we mentioned before, is cross-reference topics. So to find the information from your study materials to match any testing points in the orientation guide, it also helps you to guide you to know which point you will learn through these study materials. So you won't waste too much time on other unrelated informations. For example, like some books has like 200-300 pages. It's really hard. It's impossible for you to read through to remember every single words in the book. Especially there are like 3 or 4 different books are required for you to study before exam. And also during your exam, please read your questions carefully. Remember, if you do your section 3 exam, that means only questions are related to questions 3 is showing there. So when you think about the condition of the exam of your questions, you need to read it carefully and think only within the limit of these exams. Don't give you too much preset conditions about the questions. Also, as you may notice, if you had this exam before or communicated with other candidates, because this is an exam for the whole North America, so some words, vocabularies, units are different between America and Canada. So if you notice any words are confusing you or any misleading words for you, you can use this comment options to leave your comment with the section with the questions. So when the people who review your questions can also read your comment and think that extra conditions or out of their mind situation when doing their reviewing process. And next page, yeah. So also the time is really important, as what Jenny mentioned about the structure of the exams. The time of each sections, they are different, and the quantity of questions, they are also different between each different sections. So monitoring your time is really important during the exams. And also when you're doing your multiple choice, if you feel all options they are confused, first read through the questions to see if they require you to select the only one answer or choose any available answers. And also if you couldn't find which one is the most current, starting from the wrong question. So if you know the condition, which answer is wrong for this question, you can, it's probably easier for you to take them out and limit your choice, limit your options of the correct answers in Mailhope. And also when you book your exam, book it early. If you are doing an on-site exam, the spot is limited. It may run out fast. And also, if you are a person who likes to study with a group, you can also find a study group who shares the knowledges, shares the skills on preparing the same sections. I know this time is could be quite hard for us, especially like we all study, we all work from home. It's hard to meet the real person. So if you would like to find anyone study with you or would communicate any other information, skills, knowledges to the exams, you can join our LARE prepared group. And here is the link of the group. And in the next page, we provided a QR code that you can scan to join us. And also you have any other specific questions, you can directly email me or Jenny. We'll try our best to coordinate your issues or questions.
So thank you, Chen. We'll open the floor to questions now. I know we've kind of been answering some of them along the way, but if there was anything we didn't cover or if anyone is looking for more information, then now is the time. Also, throughout the presentation, Ingrid and Lauren and Tara have been sending lots of good information and links in the chat. So if you haven't looked at the chat, make sure to read through with the comments. So I saw Tharshni's question. I hope I pronounced your name right. And I think Chen answered it. Just to clarify the comments. So what Chen meant by that is across all sections of the exams, every question has a comment box where you can provide your feedback to CLARB. And this can help CLARB, like Chen said, tweak the wording or maybe remove any sort of confusing information from the question and basically revisit it so that it's more clear.
Yeah, and the comment button is next by the flag, by the calculator button, if I was wrong. And if you are curious about where they located on your screen, you can go through the CLARB's video. I believe there's a video introduce the look, the process of the exam. So you can go check out the videos. And also before you're starting your exam, which is the sitting time, you'll read through different pages that show terms, conditions, and show the function of each buttons you will see during your exams. So you don't have to be worried about that too much.
So someone shared in the chat for BC folks, they're part of a Section 1 group. So if you're also studying for Section 1, then they left their email in the chat. And Lauren also just sent in the chat, there's a general LARE Google group. So this one's not affiliated with CLARB or any of the provincial or state associations, but it is a good resource and it's quite an active group as well. If you just put in the search bar Section 1 or whichever section that you plan on studying for, then there is more than enough information for you to go through. And I've found that people are very kind in sharing their resources. One thing I would just caution though is take these resources with a grain of salt, because for your personal studying, it is probably more beneficial to you in the long run that you create your own notes or do your own readings. But people's personal notes and resources are a great cross-reference if you're not sure how pertinent a certain topic is. So those are always good for a backup. I would just caution you to not solely rely on other people's notes. I don't know if anyone's typing questions, but we can I think we have until 1. Is that correct, Ingrid? So we have lots of time.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions either. And I was kind of watching on the side, and I think, thank you guys. I think you did a great job of responding to them. And also Tara noted at the start that we did record this. So I don't think that I saw anybody else's camera on, but do let us know. I would suggest just maybe the easiest is to email me if anybody, and I'm just registrar@oala.ca, or you could email Tara for BCSLA if you've got any concerns about being on the recording. And we would then either take out a part or simply not show it if there was a concern by anyone. And so you'll be able to find all the great suggestions from both Jenny and Chen, and it should give you avenues to different ways that you can find information that best suit how you study. And then just that reminder that they've got the different Google groups. They're the Google study groups, both in the OALA and general CLARB. And then in BC, you saw some emails of groups that are forming smaller groups together. The OALA has publicly information available on our website that does include one of our members who used the sample questions that CLARB provided in 2018. And as background on those were questions really on the exams that they, and then they retired the particular questions and said, let's let people get a real insight into what they will see, so you can understand how they're written. And our member just goes through the thinking, and to what Jenny and Chen were saying of, here's what I'm being tested on, and I need to keep focusing on not telling somebody everything I know, but answer the specific question. That's often the hardest thing to do, that you want to show that you know the base facts, and you don't need to show that you're the top landscape architect in the world. They want to ensure that you know those base facts on there. So I'm hoping that all those bits and pieces will allow anybody studying to put together the best study plan for themselves. You can see Jenny and Chen both, you probably have different plans as how you guys study, but you've taken from all these bits and pieces.
Yeah. I mean, this exam is not about creation, but it's about the knowledge base you learned, you have, and you need for your future. And
Yeah,
also,
that's right.
sorry.
That's
ahead,
okay,
Jenny.
Chen. Go ahead. I'll talk after. Go ahead.
Yes, what Ingrid mentioned about the sample questions from CLARB, and or what I just mentioned about those preparation sample questions. I was keep mentioning the word look. That's also my personal experience. So when you study, you feel you already learned everything, you learn every words, but I think it's still good, or it's better you spend a little bit of time at least to feel the question, to see the question, to understand the perspective of the question, how they ask you or how they provide you the situation, the condition, to feel the questions, not only 100% based on the perspective of the book. It's definitely gonna help you.
Yeah, that's right. To be honest, I completely forgot what I was going to say, Chen, but I'm sure you covered it. I saw someone else in the chat also offered their email to form a study group for section 3. And I will say, I didn't have a study group for section 1 or 2. I had a study partner, but I did have a group, like multiple people, for section 3. And I will say, I honestly don't know if I would have passed without the group. Everyone everyone can split resources, so you can share your readings. You don't have to spend all your time reading all the books by yourselves. You can compare notes. You can discuss practice questions with each other and why maybe you chose the wrong answer and how you can arrive at the correct answer. So I will say definitely study groups are an excellent resource for these exams.
Great. And I think Jenny and Chen and for everybody that on your Google group, often those are mentioned within the Google group. So if you're searching for it, you can sometimes go to the Google group and find one. If you're sitting saying, I'm at home, I don't know anybody. If you go to that online Google group, you can often find some connections there.
Yes, that's right, Ingrid. For the OALA Google group specifically, it's not as active as the general non-affiliated one. I think just because there's an abundance of people from all over North America who go to that one. The OALA Google group, if anyone has any suggestions on how Chen and I can perhaps be of more use in that group because it's not that active, then please email us, because we've talked about how we can make more use of the Google group, but we're not sure what members would like. So we welcome any suggestions in our inboxes.
Great. Well, I'm really very thankful first to Tara for being one of the first on. Thank you for supporting from out in BC so early in the morning. And to Lauren, it's really helpful to hear the real information. So thank you for taking your added Saturday, and especially to both Jenny and Chen for taking the time to share, taking the time out of your studying, especially for Jen right now. Thank you for doing that. This is being recorded. It's kindly done by Todd at the AALA. And so we will get the recording from him. For the OALA, we put it up on our LARE page on the website that's accessible to anybody. And then Tara also often gives the links in newsletters and also through their website as well. So if you're in BC, you won't have any challenges finding the link to this recording. And do check out the websites for any other information, and especially those Google groups. So that's great.
There's a new
Perfect.
question from Joseph. Ingrid, you may provide
Yeah.
an answer of that.
Yes, Joseph, what you would probably want to do is go to look on our associate membership page on the OALA website, and there we've got suggestions for you to help find an advisor. The endorser in Ontario is just a person that says they know who you are. They sign one paper to say, I know who this person is. The big person you're looking for that's going to support you as a mentor through the PDP is your advisor. And we make suggestions on how you can find an advisor. I think there are 8 kind of steps that we've listed there. We just started that this year because with COVID, it's harder for people to find that. And then you'll notice at the end, if you've gone through all of these things and it doesn't work, then if you email me, we actually have OALA members who have offered to take on that role. There's a list of questions that I ask you to complete so they kind of know what you're interested in so we can get a good match for you. But do review that website, and it's just on looking at our, it vanished on me, on our website from the top bar of the OALA website. If you go under membership and associate membership, you should find all the information to help you there. And you are able to do it if you're self-employed. The idea is that your mentor is going to support you through that. And so you're going to want to share your work with whoever that mentor is to be able to help you out. And if we didn't get the question from BC, and it's probably because Tara is so fast at helping people that in BC, there's a similar approach to ensuring that anybody that's coming new into the profession can get any help that they do need to find that very important person, the advisor or the mentor for your associate membership. Great. Oh, good. I'm glad that helped to that. And so with that, I think we'll thank everybody again for taking their Saturday mornings and part afternoons. And we really hope that this has helped everybody to kind of move forward on the exams. Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good
Thanks.
day.
Good luck with your exams, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, good luck to everyone writing
And
in
good luck with
April.
me.
Yes, good luck to you too, Chen.
Bye.
Bye, Jen. I'm never sure how these things end exactly. So I thought I could wait till the end. With our go-to meeting, it just snaps everybody out right away.
That's
So
right. Yeah, thank you so much, Tara and Lauren, for joining us, and thanks for supporting Chen and I as well, Ingrid. You're always our go-to,
Well,
our
that's-
go-to person.
We
You guys
appreciate
did
all
an
the stuff
amazing
you
job.
do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
You too. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Hey, there's us in the back of the class again.
I know us in the back of the class. I know. There you go. I was never quite sure on some of the BCSLA, so I hope I didn't make any.
No, that's fine. We did fine.
Great. You had lots, I think. I kind of looked through the names, so that's great, right? Lots of interest and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, there. I don't know how they'll cut this part out, so I'll let you go to enjoy
Yeah, okay. Have a
the
good
rest of your
yeah,
day.
just
Thank
leave
you, Carol.
meeting and you can close the meeting for everybody because you're the
Oh,
host.
Perfect.
They'll be asked. There you go.
Yeah, I can
I'm
end
gone.
the meeting for all.